How's it going, Canucks fans? David here, and today I will be reviewing Game 2 of Minnesota Vancouver play-in series. In my hand is what just came in the mail, Vancouver rally towel from Van Base. I was waving it last night during the game, and holy crap, what a win it was. 4-3 Vancouver. Honestly, it didn't feel like a 4-3 game just because because the score was 4-1 all game. And it was just such a great performance. It was great to see. And so basically, I'm just going to go over the events that happened, what I thought on it, and just a little quick preview for Game 3 here. Like I said, sometimes I'll do the post games the night of, like tomorrow, because it's an afternoon game for me, which is great. And even though some people in Vancouver are upset about that because it's 11:30 in the middle of the week, which kind of sucks. But I'll be able to make a post game right after. But most days during the week, like last night when it ends at 2 in the morning my time, I do it the next day. Anyway, so the game starts and Tanner Pearson scores. And it was just so unexpected because he just gets a little wrister from the corner off a Horvat puck that goes wide or like gets deflected out off the glass. And Pearson just picks it up and just rips it short side, top shelf. And I freak out. I'm at my friend's house in the basement. I just scream. Like, I screamed so loud, his parents had to come down and ask if everyone was okay downstairs. It was sick. So then they got up on the board 1-0. And then we get into penalty trouble again. They get back-to-back penalties in the first 5 minutes of the period of the game. And it was just like, oh no, is it going to be this again? But then when the penalties end, they just get going. They get their own power play. Pettersson gets a great look from the side. Besser has a backdoor empty net pass, can't put it in. And then Horvat also has a great look on that power play. And then we get another power play. And then another one. And so we just start getting power plays. And I found that power play in the first period was very mediocre. I liked the first one, but the other two we had were pretty mediocre. But we're doing good. And sorry, I have to say, the lineup changes. Right before the game, no Toffoli. We later find out that he was unfit to play. And same thing with Adam Gaudette, who many were thinking he would end up being a healthy scratch anyways, but also deemed unfit to play. So we lose out on Toffoli and Gaudette, and who comes in the lineup to replace them? Jake Virtanen, Shotgun Jake, and Louis Eriksson. Louis Eriksson was slot in on the second line, and Jake Virtanen on the fourth line. And I will say with Louis Eriksson on the penalty kill, it did look good. It looked really good. And Louis, even though he didn't, I see this online, he didn't really get any points. He didn't really do anything where, like, besides the broken stick, where, like, you noticed him in the game. But the Horvat line was solid. They were good. And honestly, Vancouver as a team was good, but we'll get there. Second period comes along, and Vancouver's still playing well. I found they started every period well. And they get going. JT Miller comes up the side, a beautiful toe drag around Matt Dumba, and just snipes it on Stalock. And then shortly after that, Alex Edler from the blue line puts it on net, but Pettersson gets a stick in front of it after it goes off a Minnesota forward or defenseman, I'm not sure, but it goes right on the tape of Minnesota's very own Brock Besser. And he puts it home, and that felt so nice to see. We saw the Pettersson, Miller, Brock Besser line, the Lotto line, 649 get reunited, and were they firing this game? They were just doing so well. It was so awesome to watch. And honestly, the biggest complaint in Game 1 was, the top 6 forwards got outperformed by Minnesota's top 6 forwards. And that definitely was not the case today. And then, again, I found they started every period hot, but kind of slowed down near the end. And at the second, Minnesota gets some chances. But Vancouver goes into the third with a 3-1 lead. And in the third period, again, they get into some penalty trouble, but on their own power play, Quinn Hughes rips it, Horvat gets a stick on it, they're up 4-1. And then, again, with some penalty trouble, specifically Tyler Myers, he went to the box 3 times, and I just found he didn't have a good game. And last game review, I was complaining about Myers and Fantenberg, and today on defense, although Vancouver's defense was, like, quietly good, I still think, like, there's still room for improvement. And Fantenberg and Myers, I did not find played their best games again. And they have to get it going. If there's 2 guys right now on that blue line that have to start playing better, it's those 2 for sure. Anyways, with like the last 5 minutes, they just seemed to mail it in. I don't know. Minnesota scored twice. Kevin Fiala both times. One on the power play, one with the goalie pulled, I think. But yeah, at the end of it, Vancouver wins 4-3, and we'll take that win. And it's kind of crazy because in 2 games, Vancouver still hasn't been scored on at even strength. So, yeah, 4-3 win. At 5-on-5, but which is even strength. But anyways, good game overall. I'm super pumped. Markstrom, I found, did a lot better. I know the 2 goals at the end, but really, when the game was tight, when it was going, he made the big saves. He looked great. Vancouver's top 6 forwards looked exceptionally better. Exceptionally better. The last game they had 5 shots, and we talked about it wasn't good enough. And there was pressure on them to fire back, and they did. They definitely did. And then Vancouver's defense was just, they were good too. There was definitely less Minnesota chances from the prime spots on the ice. And on the other hand, like Vancouver, who had no really good scoring chances in the game before, had loads. Had a lot last game. And it was still a pretty evenly matched game, don't get me wrong. Like Minnesota ended up outshooting Vancouver at the end of it. And they definitely had their chances, but that's why we have a good goalie. That's why Markstrom's like one of our advantages in the series. And he certainly played like it. It was fun to watch. And yeah, just a great game overall. And also I think a lot of credit has to go to Travis Green. Yes, he kind of was forced to take those 2 players out of the lineup because of them being unfit to play, but he still made the right choices for who had to go in. And the line matchups were a lot better. We talked about Pettersson's line getting the hard matchups. Bo kind of getting an easy one when he's more of a shutdown line. It wasn't like that last game. He did better with the line matchups. He put the right people in the lineup. I thought Virtanen looked good. He had a few great back checks, a few good chances. And I should also add that the power play by the 3rd period was rolling. They got that goal on the power play. And then they had another one, maybe 2 in the 3rd, where they looked good, where they were moving the puck, they had chances, and it felt like they were due by the time they scored their power play goal. Man, this series is going to be nasty, though. Both teams seem pretty undisciplined thus far. And there's just so much hacking, so much chirping. Like, it just seems so physical, especially compared to a lot of the other play-in series that I've been watching. It's made it very exciting. We saw Pettersson not get bullied as much this game, too. And also, speaking of Pettersson, I didn't say this in my last video, but I thought in game 1, the young players were our best players. And again today, last night, I think they're our best players. Pettersson, Besser, Hughes had a good game. Bo had a great game. JT Miller, he's not young, but he still had a great game. I just wanted to throw him in there. And yeah, it's just honestly, and the thing that excites me for game 3 is, yeah, Minnesota's going to get better too, for sure. Now the ball's in their court. They're going to fire back. We have to be ready for that. But I think Vancouver can still play a better game than they did last night. I still think they can. They still had a few times where they come into the zone and they have a good shot and they don't. In the first period, their passes I found were still pretty sloppy. They're ripping it at each other. And a power play that seemed pretty uncoordinated in the first. But they got better as the game went on, and I definitely, for the most part, and I think that there's definitely still room to improve going into Game 3. Game 3 is going to be heated because now it's a best 2 out of 3, and whoever wins that, it's big. It's an afternoon game, not a lot of downtime between them, and I'm super excited to see what happens. I think also Markstrom still has more to give. He was good, but again, with the 2 goals at the end of the game, one of them was pretty weak, a shot from the blue line again. That kind of, it went posting in, but he was like leaning back. I don't know if it was screened or what, but still, I think he has more to give. I think our offense could still even do better, and our defense at moments were sloppy. So Minnesota's going to fire back, but I still think we have room to improve. I'm super excited because it was a great game, and Game 3 is going to be intense. So yeah, let me know what you think. If you agree with me, if you disagree, what you think is going to happen in Game 3. I see this series going 5 games. I know I predicted 4, but Minnesota's a tough opponent. I think it's going to go 5. I'm super excited, though. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at FanVancouver, and go Canucks Go.